I don't want to put my foot in my mouth again. I already failed to recognize someone once today, but you look familiar.
Well, I should think so. I was the victim of one of your starling hunts. Voronins must not be very memorable, cousin.
Pietia, forgive me, and for shooting you as well. How are you doing?
Just some heart problems, not a subject for today. I'm sorry about Uncle Stanislav. Forgive me for not coming to the funeral. I can't bear cemeteries.
We'll have to meet up again.
Goodbye.
I'm glad you're here. I thought I'd have to drink alone.
So many goodies laid out for the guests. Having trouble picking something for yourself, Judge?
But this was Stasio's. It was special. Amber liqueur with quinces.
I think you mean quince liqueur with amber, right? If it's not here, I'm sure it's in the basement. But I won't grope around down there in the dark now. I've got my hands full.
Now, I don't want to trouble you either. Victor, could you track down a little bottle for your uncle?
I suppose I'm obligated to accept this mission.
Good lad. A nephew like you is a treasure.
You will be mine, secret.
How did it go? Mission accomplished?
I think this is the one Uncle wanted.
Yes. This is our little funeral battle. We would meet in Stasia's study after every funeral we went to, and raise a toast to the dead. And recently, we've been seeing one another more and more at such events. More and more. But this time, even he has left me. So, to an easy death, as Stasia and I used to say.
How did he die?
Hasn't Lygia told you?
I haven't even had the chance to ask.
He didn't suffer, but such images in the memory are better saved for later. I'd prefer to remember him as he was alive. What then? Am I drinking alone? Familiar faces keep vanishing from my life. Stasio and my Helena before him. I miss my little darling. I miss them both. Well, obligation fulfilled. Shall we get to the reading of the will?
At the funeral, there was this sad Jewish fellow, Mordechai Hayat. Do you know him, Uncle?
He worked for Stanisław, but that was a long time ago. I don't know him more than that. So, shall we collect our inheritance?
Yes, let's find out what my father hasn't left me.
Let's begin if everyone is ready. Would you all please take a seat? Ladies and gentlemen, by the power of my office vested in me by the grace of His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor of all Russia, I hereby testify. Mr. Szulski's last will and testament were prepared several years ago in the presence of Zaslav Fedorov, Esquire, that is, myself. My last will and testament recorded in the year of our Lord 1888. In the name of the Holy Trinity. Amen. Therefore, my first irrevocable wish is to appoint as executrix of this will my daughter, Ligia Szulska. Immediately after my death, an inventory shall be conducted in full accordance with the law. After completing the inventory, all my personal movables will be sold at public auction. And let the funds raised thereby be donated on the anniversary of my death to the beggars near that cemetery. The administration of the remainder of my fortune I leave, without restriction, to the person of my daughter, Ligia.
I'm not even getting a teaspoon.
All movables and immovables relating to the family enterprise I entrust to the care and administration of my daughter. I do not prescribe a method of administering them. I merely offer her one piece of advice. I wish that the business should be conducted with modesty, prudence, and honesty, as I have conducted it my whole life.
A joker to the very end.
To my brother-in-law and oldest friend, Alexander Voronin, I wish to leave the following. My collection of muskets and 2 revolvers, dating to the uprising in memory of our first meeting.
Stasio, I will have plenty to do in my retirement.
Enjoy your retirement.
I would also like to come to the aid of my only son, Viktor Szulski, by entrusting him with the use of my personal black grimoire, in the hope that he will be able to make good use of it. This is my last will and testament. Carry it out solemnly, though you may have found it burdensome. However, this last bequest poses a certain problem.
Yes, it certainly does. And what is that, may I ask?
I am not in possession of this grimoire. The late Mr. Szulski used it up until his death, yet no one left it with me after his passing.
Meaning it's disappeared? Did father have his grimoire on him at the time of his death?
It was only because of the grimoire that we could identify him at all.
What actually happened? How did he die?
A building collapsed on top of him. I don't know any other way of putting it.
Where did it happen? Where was this building?
The southern part of Śródmieście, not far from the police station. Anyway, you can miss it.
Of all the possibilities, this was the death that fate prepared for him.
I foresaw a slightly more pleasant end for him myself. I doubt even he deserved such a horrible death.
Those might be the kindest words you've ever said on the subject of a father.
How typical of his sort of person. to keep a portrait in his study of a family that was only a family on canvas. Not long after the painting was done, he got divorced, ruined Dziedzices, and kicked out his son. But there the portrait hangs, as if family meant anything at all.
I don't know what exactly happened with Aboritse, but I know that Papa felt guilty. You don't want to forgive him even now that he's gone?
The dead need no forgiving. And as for forgetting, I don't know how. It's just a shame about the grimoire.
What do you intend to do?
And where are Father's things at the moment?
You're standing at the very center of his kingdom. Not everything has been sorted through yet, but you go right ahead.
And the store? I should check that too.
I've started stock-taking there to distract myself, and I don't want you to go in there before I've finished.
As you wish. And Mordechai Chayat? Could that be a lead?
I don't think so. He worked with Father, but he left more than a year ago. I don't know why. He was an assistant at my store.
Do you know where I might find him?
Sadly, no.
Do you have any other ideas?
Father evidently knew a certain Ivan Konieczkin. Have you heard anything about him?
Konieczkin? No, doesn't ring a bell.
All sorts of people came to Papa's store. That doesn't mean every one of them might know something about the grimoire.
That's true. You've got your work cut out for you.
I think we have to look for the answer in the place where it happened.
With your sight, you can make out more in those ruins than I, or Uncle, or Detective could. This is a good lead, but is it the only one?
Now at least I can see how little I know. Maybe these scraps of information will lead me somewhere.
Well, now that we know what's got to be figured out, forgive me, my darlings. I'm going to give my old bones a rest.
I'll see you out.
Goodbye, Uncle. And, Ligia. I'm sorry it happened this way. That I wasn't close by.
The most important thing is you're here now.
How do you find our old stomping ground? Yes, I'm not too fond of this place either. This is where I had my last conversation with my father, just before I left. If you can call it a conversation. Can you see my dreams? Nightmares, actually. Ever since I decided to come back, I keep reliving the same memory. The loan shark incident. I've been seeing his death more and more lately. I wonder if his shop is still there. Perhaps we should go there and check. Hello?
I talk here? Do you hear me now? Victor? Victor, are you there?
Grigori? Yes.
Victor, where are you?
On the other end of the line, at home, where the telephone rang.
Incredible.
Has something happened?
To me? No. I am telecommunicating with you to say I found lodgings here in Warsaw. If you need me, I'm by the cemetery. What number is it? Yes, 7 Powaskowska Street. Number 7 by cemetery. Powaskowska.
I'm glad. It's good to hear your voice.
It's good to hear you as well. Goodbye. I want to end now. What do I... like this? Wonderful device. Remarkable. Hello? Oh, and now?
Have you found anything yet about the grimoire? Is there any way I can help?
The trousers are an original style. Until now, I'd only seen women in trousers in the East.
First of all, they're practical. It's the 20th century. It's high time we started dressing comfortably.
You've always been brave, never afraid of anything or anybody. Like when Mother almost had a fit because you dumped my best tie in hot cocoa.
I didn't care that she was angry. I wanted to get you back for not wanting to play with me.
Because you were being too annoying.
You meant to say brave. By the way, Grażyna still makes cocoa every evening. You can conjure up the flavor of childhood if you want. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
In Father's study, I found a trace of a woman that I couldn't identify.
Probably Svetlana Rumiantseva.
Who is she? And what did Father have to do with her?
Svetlana is a Russian aristocrat who travels with the Romanovs' court. I can only tell you she was a customer of Father's.
A customer? If you don't want to say, then don't. Where can I find her?
When she's in town, she stays at the Imperial Hotel.
She might know something that will help me find the grimoire.
Not so fast. To get in, you're going to need me and my connections. Svetlana is famous for her soirees where she hosts the crème de la crème of Warsaw. We could go together. How about you track down some evening clothes and I'll sort out the invitation. And I won't take no for an answer.
Sadly, you never give me a chance. Unfortunately, everything in my wardrobe is antediluvian. I need a tailor.
There's a shop at 11 Pruzhna Street that's fairly decent and quick. We also have barbers in Warsaw in case you want to do something about whatever you have growing on your head and face.
Master Victor, let me guess. Have you come for some hot cocoa?
Yes, a cup of cocoa would do me good.
Help yourself. The pot is in the salon, along with some of your favorite cookies. It's been an age since we've seen one another. I'm glad you're back. Mistress Ligia is really struggling with everything.
Ligia won't open up to me, but how is she doing?
She's having a rough time, the poor dear. Her heart is heavy. Only she takes after her.
And so, the great Stanisław...
An awful death.
That won't take long. So, this death...
I'll tell you in confidence, Master.
How do you mean, Grażynka?
Don't you suspect some impure power?
Do you mean it could have something to...
That I don't. Forgive me.
Another time, Grażynka. I'll...
Always ample work.
Excuse me?
Damn it. I forgot to turn the key.
Sorry, what?
You tell me. What is it?
I need some evening wear, quick.
Good proportions.
Thank you.
Alterations won't take long. Your name and address, sir?
Viktor Szulski, 9 Green Square.
I'll send a messenger when I'm done. And Mr. Szulski, if you'll allow me a moment of candor, as it often seems no one dares to address you with it.
Sorry, what?
Go and find yourself a barber in Pavonsky. You look like a troglodyte. Now, I'd like to go to my business.
I won't bother you.
All right.
Come in.
Please, set my hair to rights.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I don't usually talk to clients. Do you like it?
Yes, you're talented.
Years of practice. My clients are always satisfied.
Ligia?
Yes?
What's next for you? You're in charge here now. Have you got some kind of grand scheme?
A grand scheme? Oh, for now, I'm just trying to keep my head above water. Certain customers are unconvinced that a woman can handle running a business. What's worse, a woman with... you know what I mean. After all, it's your...
I don't know anything about running.
Thank you. I trust the smoke doesn't bother you.
You used to detest this
That's true, but I don't know when I started...
daddy's girl.
That's not true. I was just less rebellious than... Now come on, what else is...
I'll get going. Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I see you went to a barber. That's something at least.
Recently I met a bearded guy who's not especially fussy about his appearance. And yes,
Maybe he's a natural...
very fun.
Are you getting dressed so we can go, or have you changed?
Yes, let's go and see if I do fit in.
In that case, I'll go get changed too. Look at you. And here I worried I was the only one who looked good in trousers. Very chic choice.
Thank you. You look fantastic.
Thank you. You think Papa would be mad that we're going to a party right after his funeral?
I hope so.
Victor.
He could have kept from losing the Black Grimoire. Are we ready?
Yes, the carriage is waiting.
Welcome to the Imperial Hotel. How may I help you?
Ligia Szulska, here on the invitation of Svetlana Rumiantseva.
Yes, we are expecting you, of course. The soiree is taking place in apartment 237, second floor. I wish you a thrilling and successful evening.
I'm impressed. How did you sort that out?
Our name still means something. Let's do our best to keep it that way, all right?
Who are you, my golden slithering friend?
Victor? Victor? Victor! Can you hear me?
Yes. Of course.
These people are just waiting for us to put a foot wrong, understand? We're walking into the Viper's Den, brother.
Everything's all right. I just got a little lost in thought. I'll be good, I promise. I'm going to hang around here a little longer. I'll meet you upstairs.
See you there.
What did we come here for? These soirees are for old people.
Good evening. May I?
Please, we're not discussing anything consequential.
You keep on worrying about yourselves. I intend to make the most of this evening.
See, I told you he was in love. Miss Scowan is out of your league, my friend.
To say nothing of her father.
Old Scowan and I are practically on first-name terms now. You'll see.
I'm sure.
So, one eye-catching girl has already got an admirer. What does that leave us, Maxime?
Not much. The dull, the silly, or, well, the old.
En parlant de Ligia Shulska, she just passed this way.
Pigs will fly before someone fancies her.
She'd actually prefer Sophia Scowan, according to what I've heard. Well, what do you think?
My name is Viktor Szulski.
Well, there we have it.
And I don't like what I just heard, especially about my sister.
And, what are you going to do about it?
Pardon me, gentlemen. I promised that I would be well behaved tonight.
Lunatic.
Well, well, someone new.
Good evening.
Good evening, Viktor Szulski.
Irina Orlova of those Orlovs. This is Natalia Obolenskaya, and this strangely quiet soul is our delightful Sofia Scowan.
Irina is exaggerating. Nice to meet you, Mr. Szulski.
The Governor General's daughter herself. How do you do?
What can you tell us?
How are you enjoying yourselves?
We can't complain. Seeing as we're debutantes, we're getting a lot of attention.
Really?
Maybe you'll tell us something about yourself.
I need to slip away for a moment.
Oh no, what a shame.
Mr. Szulski?
I didn't expect to see you here, of all places.
You don't know how very flattering that is. And what brings you to the Imperial?
I could ask you the same question.
I'm passing the time.
Ah, curious hobby.
I'm simply interested in people.
Do you know these circles well?
They're not hard to figure out. A gang of none-too-bright layabouts, chasing amusement after amusement after amusement.
Do you feel part of that gang?
I'm not one of them. And neither are you. Nor was your father.
Who are you, really?
Just someone who wants to enjoy himself at a party.
Who did you say you were to my father?
A trusted acquaintance. I supported him with good advice. Though truth be told, he rarely needed it. Your father had a gift for making good decisions.
Which of my father's decisions would those be?
Ones that were good for your family. Perhaps we'll have the chance to return to this another time. Goodbye, Mr. Shulsky.
Yes, I'm sure.
And the general says to him, "Tell us something funny." Then Bautski replies, "General, why don't you shoot a cannon first?"
That's a good one. I'll have to tell it tomorrow at the Orloffs.
Who might this be joining our conversation?
You know, sir, your face looks familiar to me.
My name is Viktor Shulsky.
Ah, yes, I can see something in your eyes. I was sorry to hear about your father.
I'll see you next time, darling. Wonderful party.
See you there.
I think I've offended the creme de la creme of Warsaw.
This is hardly the creme de la creme. How do you find my soirée?
How is it, being part of the Tsar's court?
It is a blessing and a curse. Forgive me if I do not elaborate.
I admit I'm getting reacquainted with the social scene.
You spent a long time traveling, didn't you?
15 years. Over that time, I got used to harsher surroundings.
And believe me, drawing rooms can be just as dangerous as untamed steppes. You've met Anastasia and Marina. What about the others?
The crux of the matter is that I'm here because of my father. You knew him.
That doesn't sound like a question. Of course, I was his customer. I truly am sorry for you, both of you. The death of someone close is always a dreadful blow. Please accept my condolences.
I've already met several distinguished guests. Ivan Konieczkin, for instance. Apparently, he knew my father.
How remarkable. I wasn't aware. Konieczkin is something of a secretive person. And have you yet had occasion to meet the debutants of the season?
I'll be sure to seek them out.
This evening, Sofia Skowan herself is to grace us with her presence.
Well, well.
I suggest you move quickly. The competition is fierce.
Svetlana Petrovna, I must insist. Can you tell me something more about my father?
Mr. Shulsky, I assure you we have the most delectable vodka. Besides that, I warmly encourage you to join Madame Samira's séance. It will be an unforgettable experience. I wonder, is that truly everything our soirée can offer you?
I've got no choice but to suffer through tonight.
No need to mince words.
Thaumaturge never fails me. There is something here. Something is off.
Maybe that's enough. What do you want?
The trick with entering someone's head. I know one person who can do that.
You're not much of a thaumaturge if you can't. You come here to torment me, unmask me.
I don't see any fun in unmasking you.
So what do you want?
Your siren is quite impressive.
Flattery will get you nowhere.
Madame, you're being impolite. What about a little competition? We'll see who wins.
I'll pass.
I think your idea of pretending to be a medium is fantastic.
It sounds like I impress you.
How many people know?
Is that a threat?
I noticed a wild saluter here. I understand your being here has something to do with him in particular.
Keep your nose out of this.
Why?
Because I'm warning you.
What do you know about this saluter? Do you know its name?
Don't you?
A name doesn't tell us much anyway. All that matters is picking out the person in this crowd with the flaw.
I know perfectly well who carries the flaw. Another reason for you to stay out of it.
That's not such a ladylike tone, madame. Maybe we should just let the best one catch that saluter.
You mean yourself?
The person with the flaw attended the seance, right? So I'm on the right track.
Have you finished?
So should we finish up?
That would be best. And listen to me carefully, Mr. Whatever your name is.
Shulski, but you can call me Victor.
Now, Mr. Shulski, you will vanish like a bad dream and...